Welcome to our channel. In today's video, we're presenting the beginner's guide to building muscle. Whether you're new to the gym or looking to enhance your fitness routine, we got you covered with essential tips, effective workouts, and nutrition advice to help you build muscle and achieve your fitness goals. Let's get started. Muscle growth takes time, persistence, and a long-term commitment. However, with proper training programs and adequate consumption of protein, it's possible for most people. When it comes to physique improvements, muscle building is often a top priority. Added muscle mass will increase the definition of your muscles, improve your lean body mass, and add bulk and size to your frame in all the right places. The basics of building muscle. Anatomically, skeletal muscles are a series of parallel cylindrical fibers that contract to produce force. This muscle contraction allows all external human movement to occur. Your body is constantly renewing and recycling the amino acids or protein building blocks in your muscles. If your body removes more protein than it adds, you'll lose muscle mass. If the net protein synthesis is even, no measurable change in muscle size occurs. Finally, if your body deposits more protein than it removes, your muscles will grow. The key to building muscle is to increase the protein deposition rate while minimizing the protein breakdown rate. This process of increasing your muscle mass is known as muscle hypertrophy, and it's a primary goal of resistance training. The muscle building process is driven by several factors, including hormones like testosterone and growth hormone, as well as the availability of amino acids and other nutrients. To build new muscle tissue, your primary tools for increasing your body's rate of protein synthesis are performing resistance training and getting sufficient amounts of protein and overall nutrients. The correct amount of resistance training drives your body's hormonal response toward building muscle, but it requires sufficient protein and energy availability to ensure the process results in muscle gains as opposed to muscle losses. While researchers and experts continue to study the science of optimizing muscle gains, performing resistance training using moderate to heavy loads, combined with relatively high protein intake, remains the only tried and true training method for increasing muscle mass. 1. Decide your target number of repetitions. The repetition continuum is a useful concept when designing training programs for muscle building. Stimulating muscle growth requires performing weight training exercises with an amount of weight that only allows you to perform 1 to 20 repetitions. In general, the repetition continuum states that weights you can only lift for a few repetitions tend to build more strength. Weights you can lift for 6 to 12 repetitions tend to build more muscle, and weights you can lift for 12 to 20 repetitions tend to increase muscular endurance. Understand that these ranges will have some crossover, meaning that 3 repetition sets with the respective weight will cause some muscle growth, 8 repetition sets will build some strength, and 20 repetition sets will build muscle as well. Additionally, recent research suggests that different individuals may respond better to lower or higher repetition ranges when it comes to building muscle. To put it simply, depending on who you are, your muscles may grow more with lower reps using heavy weights or with high reps using lighter weights. 2. Choose the right amount of weight. In all cases, the weight must be heavy enough that performing much more than 20 reps is impossible. The weight you choose to use should leave you at or near failure on your specified number of repetitions. For example, if you're performing a set of 10 repetitions, by the 10th repetition, you should be unable or nearly unable to perform another repetition. You should rarely have more than 2 reps in the tank by the end of a set if your goal is building muscle. The overall implication of the repetition range continuum is that you should go through different phases of training using different repetition ranges to see what gives your body the most muscle growth. 3. Choose your exercise as well. As mentioned, muscle building is specific to the muscle being worked. For example, to build bigger biceps, you need to perform exercises that work the biceps. This could be an isolated bicep exercise such as a bicep curl or a compound movement that uses the biceps such as a pull-up. In terms of the best exercise type for muscle building, compound and isolation movements can be equally effective at causing muscle hypertrophy. Nevertheless, for the best long-term fitness results, you should include both compound and isolation movements in your training. Compound movements like a barbell back squat, effectively stimulate multiple large muscle groups in a single exercise and provide more functional movement for real-life activities. This leads to both more efficient workouts and more practical muscle strength. Isolation movements are an excellent way to target specific muscles, and beginners may initially find them safer and easier to learn than compound movements. 4. Structure your workout to avoid overtraining. A good rule of thumb is to perform 3 sets of 3 to 5 compound movements, followed by 3 sets of 1 to 2 isolation movements per workout. Generally, use your heaviest sets using compound movements and perform higher repetition ranges on your isolation movements. Assuming you're performing 3 working sets per exercise, limit your total combined compound and isolation movement exercises to 5 to 7 movements per workout. How to eat to gain muscle. Your diet is the second half of the muscle building equation. All the weight training in the world will not yield results if you don't supply your body with the nutrients it needs to grow new muscle tissue. Bulking versus cutting. Most athletes, bodybuilders, and serious muscle-growing enthusiasts follow some variation of a bulking and cutting cycle. Bulking periods refer to training phases during which you eat more food than you burn to support muscle growth. On the other hand, cutting refers to a period of restricting calories to reduce body fat, all while eating and training enough to avoid losing muscle. To gain muscle, you need to provide your body with appropriate amounts of calories and nutrients, particularly protein. Doing so will support the creation of new muscle proteins from the dietary protein you eat, which will be stimulated by the work you do in the weight room. The main goal of eating to gain muscle during a bulking phase is supplying your body with enough nutrients to grow, but not so many calories that you put on more fat than muscle. While some minor fat gains tend to occur during periods of bulking, a sweet spot, where your body builds muscle but does not store large quantities of fat, tends to occur when you eat 300 to 500 surplus calories. Your body has a maximum muscle building rate, and beyond that limit, excess calories will be stored as fat. If your goal is to have defined muscles, you want to avoid gaining too much body fat. How fast can you gain muscle? While gaining muscle is surprisingly simple compared with many other life goals, that doesn't mean it's easy, and it certainly doesn't happen quickly. Gaining serious muscle takes many months and years of weight training and proper eating. Muscle gain rates vary by individual, even when following the same program. While this may seem like a small amount, over time, the results can be dramatic. With just a few years of consistent training, you can gain 20 to 40 pounds, 9 to 18 kg of muscle, which would be a dramatic physique change for virtually anyone beginning a resistance training program. Thanks for watching our beginner's guide to building muscle. We hope these tips and workouts help you kickstart your muscle building journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more fitness advice and routines. Keep pushing toward your goals, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay strong.